Well, good morning, IED students. Today we are going to practice our work in Inventor. We've been learning about whole notes the last couple days here, and we're going to apply this to Inventor today. So where this activity is going to take you is you're going to create a drawing much like you see here. There's a few new tools you'll be using in Inventor, and that's the purpose of the video today, is to kind of guide you through how to use a couple more tools inside of Inventor. As you watch this video, I would strongly encourage that you take notes. I don't count on my memory to remember everything, nor would I expect you to do that. So it would be a good habit to get into to become the scholars that you all can become. Part of the learning process is don't rely on your brain to remember everything, but take notes and leave your brain cells open for the other thinking as you go through the process. So, a good tip for you as you're learning, whether it be in IED or any class for that matter, when it's something new, take notes so that you can use that to apply it to the project you're working on. So, what we'll be doing, you're watching the video right now. We'll be doing a drawing much like this. We'll make an IPT, then we'll make it into an IDW with the dimensions, the notes, everything on it. I've got a document linked here. It says CAD whole notes drawing. And if you click on that, that's going to open you up into this activity right here. And it basically takes you through what you'll be doing. It tells you, it shows you, and then it takes you step by step. And that's what the purpose of the video is today, is to walk you through how to create this drawing. You are going to be taking a snip or a screenshot of your work when you're all done to show me what you've done. You'll submit that into a document that is linked right here. So when you're done, you'll submit your work by inserting a snip of or a screenshot of your work into this document. Make sure when you take your snip or your screenshot, make sure I get the header down here. I obviously want to know that it's your work and not something else, someone else's. I don't want you to just snip the top portion. I want to know that it's your work. I want to know that you are learning these steps. So let's get started. We're going to jump into Inventor, and I'm going to make myself a new drawing. And with that, we'll start ourselves a new 3D sketch. I typically in this one, I'm going to start on the XY plane, drag this down a bit. And if you study the drawing a little bit that's shown in the activity, you'll find that the block you're drawing is 5 wide and 3 high. So let's go ahead and start by drawing a rectangle that is 5 by 3. 5, tab 3. And upon studying that, we can extrude that back to 2 inches. And let's see, where's our extrusion depth? Right there, 2 inches. All right, so we've got the basic shape drawn. Now, if you look at the drawing, what I'm showing you in the drawing is the front view is looking at it from there, and the side view looks at it from there. So there's where you can kind of see the 2-inch extrusion, the 3-inch dimension for the height, and then if we go back here, there's our 5-inch dimension. All right, let's go back to a home view. We need to make holes in the top of this, working with hole notes. So to do so, let's go ahead and make ourselves a new sketch on that surface. Hole note is a new tool that we have not used yet. It's a feature tool, much like features are extrusions. Features could be things like fillets, chamfers. Let's see if we've done some things with I don't know if we've done anything with revolves yet. Yeah, we've done some revolves. That's a feature. So something we're adding to a 3D object. All right, so what we're going to do in this, we're going to basically say, where are these holes going to go? So to do that, we're going to use the point tool, the point or the center point tool. To do so, I'm going to hover and find the center line of this because this is the top of our object. I'm going to just make 4 points on here. Use my inferred points, click, 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 make sure I've got my inferred points. It's going to save us one step later so I don't have to get these dimensioned this way. Now I can go ahead and dimension from the edge to here, 1 inch, And I'm just going to chain these guys just for the sake of what we're doing here. It's efficient. I'm just going to click on the previous dimension so it makes it the same all the way down. Okay, I click on this dimension, that'll say the current dimension will be the same as dimension D4. So we're just going to make these all the same. One more dimension from here to here, same as that, and just like that, we can finish our sketch. And that's really all we've done is we've created the block and we've made the center points. We've marked out on our block where we're going to drill holes. Okay, so that's so far so good. That should be relatively easy. The only thing that may be a slight bit new would be the point tool. I don't know if we've used that a whole lot, but can be kind of handy, especially when making holes. All right, so now we're going to jump up to the hole tool on the ribbon. And if we select the hole tool, I don't want to make the same hole. If you study that drawing, you're going to put 4 different holes on this. So you need to turn off these 3. We just want to work with 1 hole. So here's what we can do. If I hold down my shift key and I click on that one, click on that one, click on that one, now it just leaves 1 hole to work with. Now we have to look at our hole dialog box, or I guess our whole dialog box. So what kind of hole are we making? Well, if we look at our diagram, it says we're making a 0.5 diameter through hole. Okay, and you can look at types of holes. There is a simple hole, there's a clearance hole, there's a tapped hole, in other words, has threads, and there is a taper tapped hole. Then we have the kind of seat. We have no seat, we have a counter bore, we have a spot face, and we have a countersink. Okay, you should have learned about at least a couple of those as we've gone along. And then what's our termination? What's the distance? Is it going through all, or is it just going to a certain depth? And then what direction is that hole going to go? And then finally, what's the diameter of our hole? So we're going to make a through hole, simple hole, and we're going to go through all because it goes through according to our drawing. We're just going to jump down here and we can just type in 0.5 because that's the size of our hole, and hit tab. Oops, get rid of that N. 0.5, we can see we got a 0.5 inch hole. Hit OK, and we've got a simple hole that's 0.5. Now, how do we know that that thing has gone all the way through? From there, it's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? I can rotate this a little bit, and I can kind of see the bottom, but it's hard to tell exactly how those holes have worked. There is a tool that allows you to look at your drawing. We can go up here to View on the tabs, and we can say, what's our visual style? Maybe we want to look at a wireframe. Wireframe with hidden edges even. And you can see that you've got a through hole going all the way through our block. Okay, so that just confirms that we've got what we wanted. I'm going to take my view and put it back to shaded with edges where we normally are. All right. All right, we need to make the other 3 holes. But here's a trick that maybe what happened to our sketch, right? We have to find that sketch again in order to be able to use it. So that sketch was consumed by our hole. So if we click on the plus by the hole tool, there's our sketch. There it shows. If I hover on it, it shows up again. I hover off and it goes away. So what we need to do is right click on that sketch and we're going to share that sketch. Share sketch. Okay, again, if I go find that sketch inside of hole 1, right click and I share sketch, now I can see all of those other points again. Let's go back to 3D model. Let's make our hole tool again. Our next hole, it appears to be a counter bore hole that is a diameter of 0.375, goes down 2 inches, and it has a counter bore that's 0.75 diameter, goes down 0.5 inches. So let's go ahead, hole tool, pick the one we want. Okay, we don't want the rest of these, right? So we don't want this guy. Holding my shift key down, I just want to work with that one. Find the type of hole we're making. Okay, it's a simple hole, that's fine, but then what type of seat? We want a counter bore, as per our drawing. And then we can look at our information here. We know we're going down, so our uh, information there is okay. What's the termination? What's the depth? If we study our drawing, our depth is 2 inches. Okay, so we're good there. What else do we know? The bottom diameter of our hole, the diameter of our hole is 0.375. So we can put our depth, or our diameter of our hole right at the bottom here. And we can go 0.375. Okay, we've got the diameter of our hole, right? Let's jump up here to the counter bore. How big is our counter bore? It's a 0.75 counter bore, so we can just get rid of that 0.3. How deep is our counter bore? Our counter bore goes down a 1/2 inch. So again, we'll just modify this one so that we've got a 1/2 inch counter bore. And you can kind of see from the ghost image there what's going on, that we've got a 0.375. Now there's a 3/8 diameter hole, goes down 2 inches. We've got a counter bore of 0.75, and we've got a depth of counter bore of 0.5. Drag that up. We can hit OK. Again, if we want to go back to our view, visual style, we can look at our wireframe. Let's see if we can look at it there. Sure we can. You can see there is our counter bore and our depth. All right. Making progress here. Let's go back to shaded with edges. And we still have our sketch was shared. Once we share it, we still have access to it. Go back to 3D modeling. Our third hole appears to be a countersink. So let's go ahead and pick on the hole tool. Again, we're only going to work with this hole. So if we hold down Shift and deselect that one, now we're just going to focus on this one. And we're just going to deal with a simple hole. It's not threaded or anything. Type of seat, we're going to jump over here to countersink. All right. How deep is that hole? That hole looks to be 2.25. So let's put our depth on this one as 2.25. Okay. What else do we know? A diameter. Let's go down to the very bottom. 0.25, a diameter of our hole. What else do we know? So we know that we are 2.25 for a depth. We know that our diameter is 0.25. We have to talk about our counter seat. So let's look at the countersink at the top here. We have a 1-inch diameter at an 82-degree angle. Well, the angle's already set, so we're in good shape there. But we need to change our 0.75 to a 1.0. Okay. And if I hit tab, that'll let that happen. And we should have our hole. If we study our hole node again, oh shoot, just got dark in my room here. We have a 0.25 diameter hole that goes down 2.25. We have a countersink that's a 1-inch and 82 degrees. Looks like we're okay. Again, we can look at this with our view, visual style. Let's go shaded. Let's just go wireframe. If we look at the front view, you can confirm there's my counter sink screw or screw hole. All right, I always like to change myself back here to shaded with edges. Go back to our home view. We have one more to go, and it looks to be another counter bore hole. All right, so we can go ahead and go back to 3D modeling, hole tool. Now, notice none of the others are selected because we've already performed our hole feature on those. So we have one to work with. We'll leave it as a simple hole, but now we're going to make our seat become a counter bore again. How deep is it going? This one goes all the way through, so we can just put through all. Direction is fine, it's going down. How big is that one? Again, we study our drawing. And if we study our drawing, I'm going to see if I can get some light in my room here. I have auto lights in here that go off, and it kind of drives me a little bit nutty when I can't see what's going on. But I want to keep going with our video. So here we go. We have a 1/2 inch hole. Okay, 0.5. How deep is it? It's all the way through. What do we know about our counter bore? Well, our diameter, if we study our drawing again, hopefully you've made some notes, or you should be making notes of this. When you are watching the video, the diameter of our counter bore is 0.75, so we can change this again. 0.75, and how deep does that counter bore go? That counter bore goes down 0.625, so I can tab down to that one, 0.625, and we should be okay. You can kind of see the ghost image happening there. If I hit OK, let's go check our work. View, visual style, we can just go wireframe. Should look very similar to the drawing that you have in the activity. All right, so we've got that part done. All right, go back to visual, shaded with edges. All right, so we've got the drawing done. And I think for the sake of this video, we're going to pause there, and I will make a second video that will guide you through making the working drawing with the actual whole notes on it. So to this point, let's go ahead and get this drawing done. Make your block with the 4 different holes in it, and then we'll walk you through how to create whole notes on an Inventor drawing sheet. All right, see you in the next video, and thanks for watching, guys.